Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're going to be looking at a very old product, but one that a lot of people love, but one that may have kind of skipped your kind of radar as it did with me, and that is, as per the title, Tequila Hustler Deluxe by Mark Elsdon. This is a brilliant witch hand effect that I think I've bought way too late in its cycle, because honestly I think it is very good, but it does have some negatives that some of you may be put off from. So if you don't already own this and you're interested in learning it, or you maybe even forgot that you wanted this, let's learn more about it together right after the intro. Perfect, so decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Tequila Hustler. So what is Tequila Hustler? Tequila Hustler is, in simple form, a witch hand effect. So it is a simple witch hand effect that can be melded into a bigger routine. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But in its simplest form, it is a simple witch hand. Now, I can't really perform this for you because I don't have a spectator, but I will tell you exactly how this would play out, so you know exactly how the routine would go. So you would introduce a coin and you tell your spectator that we're going to play a game. And this game is very, very simple. It's a game that you probably know, and that is witch hand. So you're going to take a coin, you're going to go behind your back, you're going to decide on one hand, and you're going to come out like this, holding both your hands closed so I can't see anything, okay? So then you proceed to give them the coin, but say, wait, before we actually do that, I want to add a wrench in the mix. I want to make this a bit harder on myself. So what you're going to do is, in a moment, you're going to take up a persona. You can either be a truth teller, which means that any question I'm going to ask you moving forward, you're going to have to say the truth. Or you can choose a liar, which means that moving forward, everything that you say has to be a lie. Okay? Think about which one do you want to be and tell me when you've chosen one. You've got one? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the coin, go behind your back, and mix it up and bring your hands straight forward. So they're going to do that and say, okay, so now remember, answer in the persona that you chose and do not change that persona. Is the coin in this hand? They're going to answer and you say, okay. So that tells me already something about you. I feel this is interesting. You know, I want to make this even a bit harder on myself. So what we're going to do is I want you to go back behind your back, and you're going to choose again. You're going to either keep the coin in the same hand or you're going to change. Make that choice right now. I'm going to look away, make that choice, and come out with your hands. Perfect. And now I'm going to ask you, again, in the persona that you chose, did you switch hands? They're going to answer, and you say, okay, this tells me two things about you. First of all, it tells me that you're a terrible liar, and that most of the time you gravitate towards the truth, but it also tells me that the coin is in this hand. And then they're going to reveal that you got the coin correct, and you also revealed if they're a liar or a truth teller as well. So that is essentially Tequila Hustler, and if you want, at this point, you could, if it's a borrowed coin, reveal the date on the coin, or if it's a borrowed bill, you could reveal the serial number, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. But in simple essence, that is what Tequila Hustler will allow you to do, and it is as clean as that. No matter what happens in the routine, it will always be that clean and that direct. So, knowing what Tequila Hustler is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this as a digital download from a Mind Effects, from Penguin Magic, from Vanishing Ink, and other major magic dealers. I know Mind Effects also has it as a printed version, but I think digital for this is fine because it is a very simple effect. It will set you back $25 US, and what you get with your purchase is a PDF that will explain to you everything that you need to know about this routine in great detail. You're going to get every single little minute thing that you would want to know, as well as bonus routines by Peter Turner. A lot of information is going to be provided here for you, and you also get a 44-minute video with Mark Elsdon that will explain to you the effect, will show you live performances, and for example, if you're not really much of a reader, you're going to be able to see how the trick plays out in video form, which is very welcome as well. So you are getting a lot for your money's worth with this project. Now that we've mentioned all this, let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is this effect to perform? And to be honest, this effect is stupidly easy to perform. And what I mean is that when he said the method, I was like, there's no way this is a method. There's no way. I was like, there's no way this is actually the method of this effect. And it is that simple. And for those that may think that this uses kind of an anagram of yes, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 whatever, it does not use that. It does not use that, so there's no mental gymnastics here. It also does not use a force, so it's not one of those effects where, you know, you have the spectator spell out things and think of things and switch hands. It does not use that as well. It is fully free choice, and the method is the most easiest method I've ever seen in a magic trick ever. It is that simple. I'm not kidding you. So just to determine which hand it is that simple. So it is very easy to perform. However, if you want to add to the routine, so if you want to add revealing the date on a borrowed coin, revealing the serial number on a borrowed bill, you will have to do some sleight of hand, of course, and I won't even have to tell you what sleight of hand you need to do. You can probably already imagine how you would achieve that without even me telling you or Mark Elsdon telling you. But if you do want to add to this routine, the difficulty is going to depend on that. For example, if after this effect you want to do a heads or tails, based on what I talked about in my previous review of A Double Tour, which has a brilliant heads or tails routine in there, you could do that. Or you could do another thing where you could have a smushed ball of paper, you do this routine, you reveal where the ball of paper is, you tell it put it in your pocket, you do another routine, and then the prediction of that routine is in the ball of paper that you use for the witch hand effect and that they have in their pocket the entire time. So that's a brilliant way of doing it as well. So you can add upon this routine however much you want in terms of effects, and that will determine the difficulty, but the core method here is very simple. In terms of practicality, how practical is this? This is the epitome of practicality because it is fully impromptu. This does not use any gimmicks whatsoever, no devices, nothing. It can be done with anything. You could do this on a street with a rock. You could do this with a sugar packet. You could do this with a bent straw, with a napkin, with anything that someone can hold. Even if they can't hold it, they can place it in their pocket. So while your back is turned, they place the item in their pocket and they cover their pockets, right? So this can be done with anything basically. So practicality wise, it is incredibly impromptu. In terms of angles, 360. In terms of reset, instant reset. In terms of inspectability, fully inspectable. There's no gimmicks at play here. In terms of needing a table or anything like that, it needs nothing. It can be standing up, sitting down. It can even be done over the phone. So practicality wise, this is a 1. And of course, if you do want to add to this, so if you want to add certain effects, then of course you will need those additional props. So that is something to keep in mind. But again, for the core method, it is incredibly practical. Now, where do you perform this effect? So where can you perform this effect? Again, this is something you can perform everywhere. This can be done close up, table hopping. This can be done on phone. This can be done on Zoom. This can be done on stage, in person, wherever you want, you can do this effect. It's probably just not going to work for social media if you don't have a spectator. It's not that type of trick. So pretty much practicality wise, it will work pretty much anywhere where you want it to do. However, you do have to keep in mind something important, that this is probably not something that you want to repeat for the same audience more than maybe once or twice, because eventually they maybe catch on onto the method. So this is definitely something that you're going to use as a building point in your routines for something else. So you're going to do this as an opener, then you can maybe move into a heads or tails, and then into a prediction or something like that. Or you can start with this, then do maybe the prediction that I've said, and then a serial number reveal or the date reveal or whatever. So this is more of a starting point. I won't necessarily go to someone and say, let's play 3 rounds of which hand and we'll use this method. It's probably not the play and the way to use it. Even Peter Turner, he says he uses this twice, the method twice, but he also adds some other methods in the mix, which basically throw the wrenches of how this works in the spectator's minds. So you can mix and match this between other sets and routines, and it's going to work better, but this is not something you'd repeat constantly to the same spectator in case that was something that you wanted to do. So having said all this, what are the positives and negatives of Tequila Hustler? And the negatives is basically the thing that I've mentioned right now, is the fact that you're not going to be able to perform this constantly to the same spectator. At the same time, I don't think you would need to. If you'd use this as a simple witch hand effect, then yes, they're probably going to ask you, show me that again. However, if you do this and when you reveal the coin, you say, but wait, there's something a bit more interesting to this than just the game. That was your bill, correct? And then you proceed into the bill reveal, and it just basically, they're not going to ask, oh, do the witch hand part again, because the bill reveal is so impossible that they're not even going to think of the witch hand anymore. So depending on what you do, I think that you can get away from people asking you, oh, Magic Man, do that again. If you layer this correctly, you can do this. If you do this impromptu, and yes, they're maybe going to ask you, do that again, you can do it again, because they're probably going to change their mind or try and trick you, and you're going to be able to do it again. But I wouldn't do it more than twice. So to me, I would feel completely confident performing this twice with the same method, and then I would not feel comfortable doing it again. So keep that in mind. But apart from that, positive wise, you are getting a lot of material here for what you're paying. Even though it's one routine, you're getting a lot of ideas, you're getting a PDF, you're getting a video, you're getting a lot of material here, you're getting live performances in the video. It's an incredibly easy to do routine. It's modular, which means that you can do it with any object. You can sneak anything you want. You can do a build. You can do whatever you want, which is great for building a routine around this. It's simple to do, it's practical, it's basically impromptu, anywhere, anytime. You can even call up your mate and have it do it with something in their home. It's super practical, it can be performed pretty much anywhere, and it's just a very fun routine to do. So having said all of this, would I recommend Tequila Hustler? Now, I think, in my opinion, I have to slap myself on the wrist that I've not purchased this earlier, and I've just decided to purchase it right now because it is that good. I think that it is something that every mentalist or magician should own, because having something that you can do at a moment's notice is always an asset to have, and this fits the bill because it's not something that you're ever going to forget. Once you know the method, even in 10 years, if you don't perform this, you will still remember the method and you'll be able to do it. So I think it's a must-have. I think I fully recommend it for those that don't have it. I think it's absolutely great. Yeah, it gets my full recommendation. And what do I give it out of 10? I think it's great. Even though it's very simplistic, I think the opportunity to add this and make it something more. For example, for me, this will definitely not be using a coin. I will use a crumpled up Post-it, and I will use it as a reveal later on. So I would do something with this, and then maybe do the celebrity book test or whatever, and then use the crumpled up note that's in their pocket and that we've used for the witch hand as the reveal. That's how I'm gonna use it. So I'm definitely gonna be using this. And yeah, it gets a 9 on 10 from me. It is absolutely great. So having considered all of this, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if not, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about the product. If not, I'll catch you all in my next review. Have a great one, and bye-bye.